Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about, he gave me his gas receipt with my order. Customer says DoorDash driver asked her to pay for his gas. So DoorDash drivers are always looking for more ways to make money. Some are more morally questionable than others, and in this case, he's handing the gas receipt to the customer in hopes the customer will pay for it. I don't see a reason for that to be the case. Like, that is part of being an independent contractor for DoorDash. You pay for your own expenses, which is why you just don't take orders without tips anyway, because all those expenses are on you at the end of the day. So with that said, I want to go over everything that is being said in this article, how it actually is for gig workers and customers and everything in between. Also, I do want to apologize in advance. There's a lot of construction going on in this place, so you might end up hearing it in the background. But with that said, let's get started. In a viral TikTok video, a DoorDash customer claims her driver asked her to pay for the gas he bought to deliver her Chick-fil-A order. First off, if you're using an entire tank of gas to deliver a Chick-fil-A order, you got bigger problems than the fact that the order didn't compensate you enough. You gotta get a fuel-efficient car, first of all. Second of all, you gotta stop taking orders that don't make sense financially, and you gotta stop trying to prove some arbitrary point about them not tipping. Here's the reality. You want them to learn how to tip? Don't deliver their order when they aren't tipping. It's that simple. There's no shortage of DoorDash drama on TikTok, especially when it comes to drivers calling out customers who don't tip. There are even folks who drive for the application who say that they've made it a personal rule not to accept orders under a certain payout amount that are not fiscally viable and they cannot make ends meet otherwise. Okay, let's get the facts right on this. There are drivers that call out customers on TikTok and even in person on whether or not they tip. But let's say that you even did manage to almost put them in a moral position to tip their drivers otherwise, right? Now they feel forced to tip, and that's gonna make them disgruntled, which is gonna bring on more bad ratings and contract violations that shouldn't be on you in the first place. If you're somebody who's driving for this application, you should be only taking orders that make fiscal sense to begin with. If you don't, why are you even on the platform, really? You're an independent contractor. You're in business for yourself. You need to start acting like it and only take orders that are profitable, not what the company wants you to take. I can't believe they're saying it like that. Like, it's so unusual for us to want to make a profit. Like, who wrote this articles so that way it's that unreasonable? Like, seriously. On the opposite side of the food ordering spectrum, several customers have called out drivers online for their unprofessional behavior. Like this one woman who caught a DoorDasher eating the meal she ordered. I actually made a video talking about this particular subject. I'll leave it in the description. Feel free to check it out. Now, another woman is going viral, stating that the delivery driver who was assigned to pick up her food handed her his gas receipt with the order. Do I condone that behavior? Not at all. Let's get the facts right. The gas receipt that you have is your expenses. That's a write-off for you. That's number one. And number two, if the reason you're giving it to her is because you don't feel you were compensated enough for the order, that's not something you do. You don't do that order to begin with. You say decline and you move on. You don't start handing customers gas receipts and expecting them to pay for it. You don't try to pander for more tips. You don't try to make some no tip, no trip point, which I do stand for, but the point of no tip, no trip is no tip, no trip. Not no tip, hand them a gas receipt. Not no tip, do something to their order or give it away. No tip, no trip. It's that simple. User Carissa at Secretlykarissa writes in a text overlay on the video, my Dasher wants me to compensate him for his travel, so he gave me his gas receipt with my order. I'm going to leave her TikTok as well as her profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. In the comment section of the video, Carissa didn't seem to sympathize with the financial plight of her delivery driver. One viewer commented, "This DoorDasher came into my job yesterday about only making $8 an hour when I was doing everything difficult for $5. In response, Carissa wrote, "Even though $8 an hour is still really bad, they literally chose their job and make their own schedule." Okay, first off, if they're making $8 an hour on DoorDash, they may not be in an area that is feasible for DoorDash. That's an issue altogether that is separate from this, but that's a major point that needs to be said. Second, what do you mean you were doing everything difficult for $5? You mean tipping your driver? Like, if that's the case, if that's that hard for you, don't be ordering on DoorDash. It's a luxury service. And third, that is not an expense you put on the customer in the form of their tips or pushing your expenses onto them. Like, that just doesn't happen. Others seem to agree with her. As another commenter suggested, that's something you take up with DoorDash. We have tried! Is it that hard to understand? Like, it's not like we have an HR department. If your boss isn't giving you a raise, what makes you think that we're going to be getting any kind of raise with us? And not to mention, and probably the most important out of all of this isn't a reason to not tip your driver. This is literally just you justifying why you have to be the worst type of person on earth. Some couldn't believe the gall of the driver, as the receipt that Carissa shows off in the video indicates the Dasher put a little over 6 gallons of gas in their video, totaling $20.84. He used 6 gallons of gas to get to CFA, and then from CFA to your house. And hell, let's throw it in from your house to the next restaurant. One TikToker questioned. Yeah, that's exactly my point there. Like, let's say it literally did take that much to actually get it to you. One, why did you accept that order if it was going to be that unprofitable for you? And two, why are you driving a car that is so bad on gas? Like, I don't even know what car actually is that bad on gas. Like, what are you driving? Some pointed out that the Dasher clearly doesn't understand how the platform works, noting that customers already pay specific delivery fees and upcharges. Like, sir, these fees got me paying $29.99 for a CFA meal. Get out of here, one set. Okay, first off, let's make the obvious point that this is the pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, it means that the Dasher doesn't know how the platform works, but obviously neither do you. DoorDash is a luxury service. You're ordering food to be delivered to you. If you're not tipping your driver, you're a piece of crap. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are a piece of crap if you don't tip your driver. I am not arguing that point. Second, those delivery fees and upcharges don't go to us. They go to the company. And most likely this order was 10 miles for $2.50. Should the Dasher have declined it? Yes. Absolutely. I 100% agree that the Dasher clearly doesn't understand how the platform works, but don't go pretending as if you do in order to make some arbitrary point that clearly you don't even know how to make yourself. But going back to the point of Dasher not knowing how the platform works. Yes, you decline orders that don't make sense financially. You do not work with customers that treat you like garbage. The point of this platform is that it gives you the freedom and flexibility to not only be on the platform on your own time and on your own schedule, but to accept orders that actually make sense for you financially. And when you see an order that a customer chooses not to tip on, you say no. And you don't allow abusive, manipulative scumbags to treat you that way. Not just hand them the gas receipt they should be paying for your gas. That doesn't even make sense. For many, they felt like the fees along with the end user customer service when ordering through delivery apps ultimately made them not worth the time and money. I won't do any third-party delivery anymore, a commenter shared. I've been delivered the wrong food and had my food delivered to the wrong place too many times. This person did the smart thing. He was not getting the experience that he wanted from the platform, so he did the intelligent thing and left. A lot of people feel that way. If you can't afford it, if you're not getting the experience that you want to get, you just don't use it. Not you keep using it and punish yourself more. Not you keep paying into it and complain about it. You don't like it? don't order. That's simple. Someone else in the comment section stated that DoorDash has a rewards program for its drivers that make them eligible for significant discounts on gasoline. In a March 15th press release, the company wrote, "We're announcing a gas rewards program based on the feedback aimed at offsetting the elevated gas prices while helping Dashers preserve their earnings potential. Dashers who qualify for both rewards can receive anywhere between $1.65 and $2 per gallon." Both of those rewards programs are either significantly reduced now, or they just don't pay as much as they did once upon a time. First off, 10% back on gas through Dasher Direct has long been expired and is back down to 3%, I think it is. And a weekly gas bonus was literally only for when gas prices were skyrocketing through stupid rates. And since then, Dasher Direct has not been that good. Not to mention, I'm not a fan of Dasher Direct at all. First off, DoorDash has already been shady with the way they treat our money already. Why would I leave my money in the hands of the people that have been literally stealing it from their drivers? Delivery drivers for the application can also pay for gasoline using a 10% cash back on the debit card called Dasher Direct. And those who travel 100 miles or more per week also qualify for gas incentives. For 175 miles per instance, Dashers will earn an extra $10, and for 225 miles, they will earn another $15. These incremental rewards can add extra earnings between $1.25 and $1.69 per gallon for those who qualify, on top of the normal DoorDash pay, promotions, and tips, the site reads. Which, again, has long expired. Like, seriously, whoever wrote this article not only has some of the most outdated information out there, they are incredibly biased and incredibly bad at their job. And is clearly against DoorDash drivers in every way. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. First off, whoever wrote this article was an absolute travesty and really should be fired for how terrible they are at their job. Can't do basic due diligence. You shouldn't be here. Do you know that's not how DoorDash works? I love how all of the arguments made was literally the arguments we would make, but in a way to justify them not tipping their drivers. That is the most gaslighting, abusive methodology that I have ever seen. Honestly, I am concerned that this is the kind of narrative that is being sent around. And I am sure that this writer is also someone who doesn't tip their driver either way, but honestly, I am kind of embarrassed to be reading this overall, because clearly this is a terrible source from a terrible writer. Daily Dot, do better. Now, going over the major point here, if you are a DoorDash driver, here's how this works. The gas you use is part of your expenses. You can find ways to offset that cost with other cashback rewards programs and other things of that nature. Great, and I think that's the smart way to go about it. But you can't just go give the receipt to a customer assuming that they're gonna pay it. That's not how this works. Understand that DoorDash is for independent contractors and people who are really willing to be in business for themselves. And that means taking on the expenses it takes to be a DoorDash driver, as well as understanding that you only take orders that are actually profitable to you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!